Hey everybody, back here with me, Jared Palmer, at Jared Palmer, lead engineer at the Palmer Group. We're here at React Europe with Alec Larson, co-author of the very, very popular React Spring library and also maker of Light Timer. So tell me, Alec, what's up, man? Welcome to
Well,
React Europe.
this is my very first conference
Oh, really? I didn't know. That's awesome.
and my very first technical speech. So,
You spoke very eloquently about React Spring. It's my favorite animation library for React. Tell us a little bit about your talk. Like, what were you trying to tell everybody about? There's a brand new API with hooks, right?
right. Since version 8, React Spring was rewritten in hooks. So it has use Spring, use transition, use chain, and use trail. And you can combine all of these or just use whatever works for you. And it really proves to be a very flexible API.
Yeah. So that much lighter weight, easy to remember. It seems like we love it. It's great. We use it on all of our projects. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I just found it a month ago, and I decided to contribute.
Yeah.
And I ended up basically rewriting the thing because, it needed a lot of comments. It was kind of hard to understand at first.
Yeah. What was that like joining? A lot of people view open source as like a creator-only universe, but talking about your role as a contributor, like were you totally fine with it? Like, do you have there's a lot of egos happening, so it's an interesting role to play.
Yeah, I mean, it is obviously more fun to create your own library, but when you find a library that fits your needs, I mean, you just want to make that better, and it's not even the goal of becoming the co-author and going to give speeches,
right?
But it's really just making it as best as it can be. And
what were you building at the time? When you discovered like React Spring, or what were you working on?
So I was working on Light Timer.
Okay.
But I also was looking for an animation library for my upcoming projects as well.
Got it.
And Light Timer is a Mac OS app that lives in your menu bar, and it's a drop-down UI that is made in React Native, actually with React Native Mac OS, which is a fork of React Native that I help maintain. And I've done a lot of work on that now because the original creator isn't using it much anymore.
Got it.
And so Light Timer lets you just use a global key binding on your keyboard to open it up, and it auto-focuses, and you can use natural language like 5H for 5 hours, or 8 p.m. tomorrow, or March 22nd, stuff like that. And it also has a stand and sit timer.
Very nice.
Recently, I've been standing for 30 minutes and sitting for another 30 minutes.
Whoa, you were like religious.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's helping that much.
Do you have a desk that auto adjusts? Do you have like the?
I just have 2 different desks.
Okay.
And I have to pick up my monitor.
Okay. I just got one of the autonomous, what is it called? Jarvis desks. It changes. It's changed my whole universe, but I like rarely remember to even
That's
change
the
it.
thing. Building the habits is hard.
They don't tell you that when you buy it.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and that's actually the main reason I built it, because I was looking for a timer app to tell me when to stand and when to sit, and there was none that lived in your menu bar that dropped down when it was time and would stay open and stay visible across screens. On Mac OS, you can use 4-finger swipes.
Right.
And so I decided to build Light Timer.
Yeah.
And I figured, it'd be good to get some experience with React Native before I get into some serious projects.
Yeah, you're starting a new company, right? And tell me about what your vision is there.
So we will be creating a messenger. I don't know if I want to get in too deep on that.
You don't have to. Talk about something else.
But it's a really big vision about voice messaging and how it's an underserved market. Okay. And we have a lot of interesting takes on that.
Very cool. We'll have to watch you closely then.
Well, yeah.
When can we expect some more information about it?
Once the MVP is ready, hopefully at the end of the year.
End of the year. Okay. Very cool.
I will be hopefully speaking about that, and maybe going over how I built it and stuff like that.
What are you using to build these tools? What's your go-to stack these days on the front end and back end?
Okay, on the front end, I've been using React Native a lot. I just love the idea of cross-platform.
Yeah.
The only thing is, there is some, for example, if I wanted Light Timer to work on both Mac OS and Windows,
right,
I would have to figure out the differences between those, and it's still going to be a lot easier than rewriting it for both platforms.
Right.
And
what about the back end?
all right, the back end. The back end, I'm going to try Firebase when we work on the messenger.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a good choice or not.
It's a choice.
You just got to make a choice, I guess. And,
yeah.
Learn from that. And in the past, I've tried Tarantool, which is it's a database that's developed in Russia.
Okay.
And the idea is you keep all of the storage in memory, and
okay.
the idea is there for scaling.
Got it.
But you have to use Lua, and there's not a huge community around Lua.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you really can't deny the awesomeness of serverless and
right.
not having to administrate that stuff.
Yeah, it's super nice. The challenge with Firebase that is difficult is like local development's a little bit harder, testing and stuff like that, but you get the speed of development, in return. And so it's definitely a great tool for MVPs and even building real products. So we use it heavily for prototyping. It's awesome.
And then my state management library
yeah.
called Vana.
Oh, interesting.
I decided to roll my own.
Yeah, okay. Tell us. What's the
it was such an intriguing idea. I had to try it.
Yeah, everybody finds themselves on certain weekends and they're just state management library.
So the idea is just immutability is a great thing, and it helps memoization.
Okay.
Very easy, deep equality checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also love the idea of observability and being able to subscribe.
You're an observables person.
I'm an observables, but not like RxJS and like streams and stuff like that.
Okay.
That stuff kind of, I don't know. I mean,
not your thing.
It's just not my thing. Yeah.
It's
just personal preference, really.
Yeah.
And so the idea of having these immutable objects flowing down this tree, and then subscribing at as close as possible to where it's needed. I mean, I can't see any negatives with that, and it has a hooks API.
Very cool.
So. And the observable objects are actually transparent. So you don't know that it's observable just by looking at it. You have to say, pass it to the function is observable. But normally you don't do that. So normally you treat it like a normal object. And most of the time you know which objects are going to be observable. So it's not hard to mess that up, in my opinion, or at least in my experience.
Got it.
So there's this hook called useObserved, and you just pass in any normal object that has been wrapped with the O function.
Okay.
And it will observe it. And you can also observe just a single property of it, of an object. And it's actually just a really simple API, and I've been finding great success with it. So that's
awesome. If it works for you, man, that's the main thing, right?
The only issue is, trying to convince those Redux users that.
Yeah. Hopefully with hooks, with useReducer, there'll be a new generation of those. But there's some people that are just hanging on. It's always a challenge. Well, thanks so much for coming through. And how can people follow you and get involved?
I'm alec.biz on Twitter and Alec Larson on GitHub.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming to React Europe. An awesome talk the other day, man. It was great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Appreciate it.